Yeah, whenever they're, yeah. Okay. They told.
Oil on frost.
Yeah, it's good.
Potato Google from Klein.
Yes. No,
Potato
thank you.
Potato
No, thank you. It's good. I trust
Potato-
it's good.
Good morning.
Gave it 2 nights worth. Yeah, 2 nights worth.
It's 2 months is cleaning the ice.
Yeah, good.
From this year.
Good.
They're afraid that somebody will fall. Insurance. Yes.
Right.
I was so happy to see that.
No, the chef.
I sold that thing.
Today, I'm moide de Sicha. Mamish, it's like, so tonight the Sichos are moide de Sicha. So, it's a Sicha about,
Actually, this could
be very busy at part-time.
No, please.
Mayor, we have a shiur.
Sifuri Hasidim says, the Hashem Tov was traveling with one of his Talmidim, and the Talmud was very thirsty, there was no water. The Hashem Tov said, if you had betochen emes, immediately you would have water. The Kakava, Namola Goy is walking, and there's two geses in the story. One gese is that the Goy had 2 buckets of water, and they paid him for the water, but they asked him, there's no water around there. How are you walking with 2? So he said, I have a poritz that's running ganze meshuga. I used to always bring him water. And a few days ago, he told me, no, you're going to walk all the way to the other city over there. There's a stream, and I want dafka water from there. I have no idea why it's meshuga, but I'm scared if I'm going to bring him regular water, he might know that I didn't go there. And via sakona.
That's one question.
The other gear says that he lost his horses. He was looking for 3 days for his horses. And either way, the Baal Shem Tov said to the Talmud, the emes is that the Eibishter originally orchestrated it. According to the second case of the story, the Eibishter was Tzofa B'Rotzna Elyon when he created the world. Alamai, you needed to have bitochen in order to bump into this goy. There's a few more stories that I'm going to tell. I just want to get straight into the sugya. Moedeke sugya. Touches a lot about the Rebbe had a big koch and learning Chayvus of Lavovis and Shana Betochen. The women in basement HaMan are learning this now, and it's Bem is Geshmak. Okay, let's go straight into it. The Alter B'Shulchan in Madurakama writes in Siman Aleph Sif Yud, Toiv Lama B'Chol Yom Parshas Akeda Kedei Liskes Chus Ha'avis Lifnei HaKodesh Baruch Hu. Gam Kedei Lachnia Yitzro La'avodas Hashem Yisborach K'mo Shmos Yitzchak Nafshei. That's number 1. Number 2, Parshas HaMan Kedei She'aman Shkol Mizanos and Boyin Lo Bashgoch. That's tough to say every day Parshas HaMan. So he has a Muna. What's the Amuna? That everything, all this food is coming Bashgoch from the Eibishter. That the Eibishter made that l'chol nefashos beisai there was a oimer legulgoilus k'moishe kosav v'yamoidu ba'oimer v'lo hedif amarba v'amamit lo hechzit. So therefore, when a person thinks about this, he gets an unbelievable chizuk in his amuna. This is the words of the Tur. The way it's explained in Yosef, Befrotus Yosef, it's explained in the Lavush. Lamai, in the Lavush says, Ashgocha Protis. The Lavush is a little bit of a different emphasis. His emphasis, the Eibush is the Balabos. So, from the fact that everyone got Oimer L'Gulgoylus B'diyu, you see the Ashgocha Protis from the Eibush. The Alter Rebbe takes out the word Ashgocha Protis, and he more emphasizes the union of hashgoch. In other words, that a person realized that marba v'amamit lo yachzit was an unbelievable thing. You worked extra hard. You shoveled. Came home, zav ba'omer. The other guy was an atzlan. That I got like a little bit.
Wasn't Atan. He did what Hashem asked. Didn't they?
Came back. It was a full oimer. So the Alter Rebbe is trying to show the unbelievable level of emuna that a person has, that it's not koichi ve'oitzim yod yosi l'sachai lazeh. Therefore, the emphasis, it's not the union of the ashgocha protis. It's the and the ikar is that's the Eibish's ashgocha, and therefore he brings the posuk not the oimer asiri seifa who the vort is, which is the posuk the Bush brings. The vort is that if you worked extra hard, you did not earn an extra nickel. If you were lazy, you didn't lose anything. So that's the okay. Weiter.
Lazy.
If you didn't, it says "Amamit lo yachse." Yeah.
It's not
Lazy means he didn't collect so much. But that's what the pasuk says. So it didn't matter how much ishtadlus the person put in. It didn't matter how much ishtadlus the person put in. And that's really the emphasis of the Alter Rebbe. Okay, weiter. The Kamashkos of Yemod of Eimer v'lo hedef hamar v'mavet lehechse v'aseres adibra shedeken yiska mavet arsine kol yom v'tzichaz kamanos v'bikshcham lekvoy aseres adibra b'klishma bitol ne'aminim shlo yomro lame oretz ein shor teure shein teure emes v'teide shen korin elamash shom HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'sham v'piv v'sin v'fikach also Amar b'tziv v'derech kviz v'chol yom afilu shlo b'teich b'echas krishma alakoydem be'er sham still it's also rak kol yochid mutel amram lekroisen ba'atzmai lechein einogim gamkem lekosfem al kunteres miyuchid letziver nei haminim. We get some minig Yisro like we hear.
This is making shit, as you could say.
Yeah.
Or
even
even
this
on
chart.
Friday night when he spoke about the Parsh, from Avenue K, he brought up some very good points from the, you're not allowed to have extra stuff leave over nicer on a carbon. So the same thing on the man, if you're going to pull more, for the next day, that right away gets spoiled.
Yeah.
However, if let's say you were satisfied for that for the two Shabbos meals, let's say with 3/4 of a quart, and you got, let's say, lamashal 3/4 of a quart, but then you ended up eating between the two meals a half a quart, so you had some leftovers, you had some nicer. Does that get spoiled? The answer is no, because you didn't want to save it for afterwards, but you can use that extra stuff for during the week.
I don't know. It doesn't sound that way in the okay.
So you keep it for the next.
No. It's not that you had in Zin that you're going to have nicer. It just so happened you weren't hungry anymore, so you had leftovers.
Weiter. Parsha, the Parshas among the way he brings in Madura Tinyona. Toiv loimer b'chol yom Parshas Akeda. Lizker zechus avis. You see everything over here is bekitz in the Madura Tinyona. He doesn't go into the riches. So Parshas among leftoich b'Hashem ta b'tochem noisen lechem v'ayom b'yoymei. Aseres adibris v'yeser al kein toiv moed yevlo Parshas HaKarbonos. Levites nicht negate so much. Really, what the Alter Rebbe says in the Madura Tinyona is much more bekitzer. But what the Rebbe points out is that okay, you want to be bekitzer, but you're changing. The toiv lama Parshas HaMan in Madura Kama is for one reason, kedei sheyamin, and in the Madura Tinyona is kedei liftoyach. And anyone that learns Sifrei Musar, starting from the Rabbeinu Bechai, he says befedish in Kadakemech kol haboiteach umaymin v'amaymin yitochen shelo yeh boiteach. So a person could be maimin, but he doesn't have bitochen. A person could be a maimin and would not have bitochen. So it's not. So the shaila is one shinu. The second shinui.
You could be without a bitochen.
Ikevenu not a bitochen. That's what the Kadakam says. Kol haboiteach umaymin v'hamaymin yitochen shelo yeh boiteach. And the other thing is that the Alter Rebbe changed, that he was a totally different thing. When he says, the Shemamin Shekoma Zenoisa Balabashgocha, Shekena Bemonch, Shekech Lishbarach Lusalek for the Melagogolus, Meshkosa Veyamoida Boimer, Valahed of Amar, Mamet Lehechser. And then he just says in the Madura Tinyona, Liftoyach Bashem, Noisen Lechem Dvar Yoim, Veyoimoy. The two Shinuim really are hand in hand, because if you're saying that a person should have emuna, what's the emuna? Emuna is that he believes that my doing more or less, I could work in my business 16 hours or 6 hours, whatever the Rebbeinu Shalom wants, that's what's going to come into my bank account. So therefore, the Alter Rebbe is meidich in the nest of Amar Bev Hamamit v'chulu to make his point of the emunah gleib as my parnasa from the Rebbeinu Shalom and not from me. Not koichi v'yod otzim l'sachai lazeh. Betochen is a totally different thing. Betochen means that I put my trust in the Eibishter. So we see that from the fact that var yom b'yom for 40 years, like the Nir Rashi says, Yirmiyah Novi took out the Tzintzena Samon to tell the Yidden, you see, for 40 years they don't. You're saying don't worry about it. You see, har b'shluchim l'mokim, har b'drachim l'mokim. Oh, you say Parshas Hamon every day?
Till today, we have the money.
The emes is that the minik Chabad is to eat something which is doimet to mon. And kasha was the most doimet to mon. I guess today.
I don't know what HaMan look.
Well, it says dakak foyer. Rashi says dakak foyer, that they were like black dots.
This is glider.
Even though it says kezera gad lovan,
Yes, I got love.
it's a good lovan. That's the Chassidim said that kugel is kezera gad lovan. We spoke about it last week. Friedeker Rebbe said that's why the kugel is round. Gam to kugel today goes in the 9 by 13 is square. But Amol the kugel.
Today we read around.
Amolika kugels used to be in a frying pan. So okay.
This is from Rav Malka.
Good.
It's round. So it goes according to the.
Yeah, it goes the Lubavitcher way. Yeah. So
Yes, the money bit.
okay. So them is these two shinuyim go together. Shaila is, why did the Alter Rebbe change? Why did the Alter Rebbe change that in the Adura Kami writes the Tur, the Beisos, the Lavush, that the Tov Parshas HaMan is for Emuna, and then he changed that it should be for Betoch. So there's a huge difference between Emuna and Betoch. As we said, the Kada Kemach says, "Abateach hu maimim v'amayim yitochen shlo yibeteach." It's a very different thing. Emuna is an inyan tmidi. A person must be a maim in every moment. A person, even if doesn't have an asoyin now in the question of Emuna, it's not negay lepoil, but Emuna is every moment.
How do you type the English words of the Amun and Yidachon? Are they both belief or something more specific? Believing.
Trust. So
Both are trust, or one is belief and one is trust.
Amuna, I think they translate Amuna belief and Betochen trust.
Says you got to be trust.
So Betochen means that if he needs something, that he trusts that the Eibishter is going to make sure. He's going to work. He needs a certain deal to work or not work. He needs parnasa. He needs this. He needs that. He puts his trust in Hashem. It's a question of health, of a future, of this or that. He puts his trust in Hashem. He asks me, and the answer, he gives the answer himself. So Amunah is something which has to be every moment. Amunah has a mile and a chison. The Alter Rebbe brings a ganva pumachtar terachmonakaya. A person can have Amunah, but it doesn't behoove his actions. Betochen is a certain. Someone was telling me that he was doing therapy. Something. But anyway, the thing in the therapy was that there's 3 chaverim, and one person throws the other guy, and he has to let himself loose. And he has to trust that the other guy will catch him. The people that grow up in families that, very neglectful, and the kids don't have this thing, they don't. So this was the therapy, that there's 3 chaverim, Reuven, and there is Levi, and Shimon is monkey in the middle, and they push, Reuven and Levi are pushing Shimon, and Shimon has to go like this. And so it's a very strong thing, betochen. Amunah is every minute, but it could be shvach, it could be makif. Betochen is lavdafka every minute. A person needs now betochen, but it's a very strong thing. That's why the Rishonim that talk about betochen, I want to read it now inside in the Hagdom of the Shara Betochen in the Choy V'Salavov. So just a second, but just the way Chassidus reads it, that he says that the Inyan of a Maiman is that he's always besimcha. So what's the pshat? So the question is what B'toch means? A person believes that it has trust in Hashem, it'll be good. Why do you trust it'll be good? Maybe if you're in a bad situation, there was a gzeira malamayla, ain't chet below oven, so so there's ain't einish below oven, so maybe, no. The answer is that when a person goes through the exercise, that he puts himself in Hashem's hands, he lets himself loosen to fall into Hashem's hands. Ha gufa makes him deserve mida keneged mida, that he threw himself in Hashem's hands. So mida keneged mida, even though maybe he wasn't deserving, and that's why l'chatchila he's in a matzav that maybe something is weak in his life, but because he was boiteach b'Hashem, it'll be 100% that it'll be good. So emunah b'tochen is totally, again, that brings us back to the kada kemach, who's kola b'teich u'mayna. If he has b'tochen, obviously he also has emunah. But a person who's a mayna lav dafke is a b'teich. He has emunah. So he believes in the Eibishter. Now, why did the bad things come to him? Because they Shalom. For a good reason. The reason. Does everyone Shalom know what he's doing? He knows what he's doing. It doesn't mean that things are going to turn out good. He's maimin, but he daf b'teich. That will be good. But if he works harder, he can have the midas habitochen, which is that it'll be good. And be'emes, it's going to be good, which is a moiridik shvera avoida to do. It's a very, very difficult avoida. Before we read the Shara B'tochen, there's a beautiful story. There's a beautiful story in the Brisker of the Bashem. I'll tell you first the story of the Bashem. The Bashem is like a beautiful story that the Bashem is in Sipure Sidim, Sipur 305. That the Bashem told his Talmidim that I want to teach you Midas HaBitoch. And it's a very difficult midah to learn. So you'll have to travel with me, and if you ask him, we'll take off a little time from learning, and we'll travel, and we'll figure out how to do Midas HaBitoch. So they traveled in the wagon of the Baal Shem Tov, and they came to a place where there was a Yid that was Machnas Oirach, very happy. He took them in, and he made a Suda for them. They sat down, they washed, and they came in. A guard came in, and he took a big fat stick and he banged on the table 3 times. So the Baal Shem Tov said, "Well, what's it does?" So he said that he owes money for already a year for his rent to the poritz, and the derech of the poritz is if someone owes him money, so he sends a guard and he knocks on the table or on the door or on the window. He knocks 3 times. And every hour is 3 hours, and the 3rd hour he knocks again 3 times. And if the person doesn't show up and pay the choiv, then the person, his wife, his family, they get taken away and they get thrown into a dungeon. So the Baal Shem Tov said, "No, why don't you go pay him the money, and then we'll have the Suda." He said, "I don't have any money." But said the Baal Shem Tov, "But you don't look fadaiget. So how come it's not niked that you have any daiget?" So he said, "Why should I have any daiga? I have betochen that the Eibishter will help, and there's 3 hours ahead of me." In the middle of the Suda again, the person came back and knocked 3 times, and at the end of the Suda, they came again and knocked 3 times. And the Baal Shem Tov said, "Now let's bench." And it was nikah that the Yid benched with full kavanah without any daigas. When he finished benching, he put on his big Shabbos. I mean, it's going out to the Koretz. I can't understand Nazai Mitlatis and Eisen. He put in his nice jacket, his nice hat, and he said, "Goodbye, I'm going to come back soon." So the Baal Shem Tov said, "No, now you have your money." He said, "No." "So why are you going to the Parshios?" He says, "I have betochen the Eibishter, and the Eibishter can be mazman, then on my way, but I have no choice. I have to go to the Parshios." So as he's walking, the Baal Shem Tov and Talmidim are standing at the door and watching. And they see that in the middle of the way that there is a fancy wagon. They stop, and he's talking to the Yid. And then the wagon drives away. Then the wagon drives back to the Yid, and again there's a little dealing. And then the Yid walks away, and the wagon comes to the house of the Yid. So the Baal Shem Tov says, "What happened?" So the guy says that he's a osher, and he likes to make a lot of sudas. And he heard that this Yid makes the mashke yain soref meula min meula, shufra de shufra. So he decided why should he? He said that, you know what, he's going to go to the Yid and he'll pay him ahead for next year all the mashke he makes, that he's buying it ahead of time. So what happened? he offered a price to the Yid. The Yid said, "No, I'm not masking.
Too little.
It's too little." So he walked away. I realized that it was foolish for me to argue with him. No one's going to make mashka as good as him. I'm going to have next year again the lousy mashka that I had last year. And he's walking away. He doesn't need my money. So the Mela, I decided to give him the price that he wants. But he told me that he has to go give up to the poritz the money that he owes him. So the Vela, I paid him the money. And I trust him. We'll come back here. We'll write a shtar and I'm guaranteed to have my mashka. Well, Hashem Tov said to Talmidim, that's midas habitoch. That's midas habitoch.
Are you allowed to be Mechal Shabbos?
What was Shabbos?
What's Shabbos? What's Shabbos?
Tuesday.
Uda Shabbos.
No, it's a Sudas Tuesday. Put on Big Day Shabbos on Tuesday. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And at Shabbos, I was looking at my Mechutim, Likkutei Sifurim, Menachem Zayde. So he writes a story. He learned to Lubavitch when the Friedrich Rebbe was very young. Friedrich Rebbe got married. He got married very young. He was 14 years old. And after he got married, he decided he wanted to go into business. So there was a short time when he was in business. The Friedrich Rebbe. He was in business. He was a metavich on selling in Russia. There were a lot of forests, and there was very meshubach dika wood that they would ship also for outside Russia. They had these forests that gesetznas a whole winter, and it was good wood, and it was a business. And he was what he did was he was a safsad, he was a middleman, so he would get whatever 2-3% on the deal. There was once a complicated deal that he worked out between a goy, a poritz, a Russisch poritz, and an investor from Paris. And everything seemed all locked up. On Friday, they were going to sign the deal. Alamai was already close to Shabbos. The Friedrich Rebbe said, he's going home. Yeah, it's the deal is schlepping. He's going home. No Shabbos, whatever. There was a few minutes for Shabbos, and they get a phone call. And the Friedrich Rebbe picks up the phone. I say, okay, good. I understand. Okay, very good. Thank you. Put down the phone. After that Shabbos was a Gehoid ben a Shabbos, they asked the Friedrich Rebbe to say a Maimer. It was the son of the Rebbe Rashab. He told over a Maimer. It was a beautiful Shabbos. After Shabbos, the Balabayas said, maybe you want me to drive you over to that place where they were doing the business deal to see what's geshen. So he said, let's have Mlava Malki. After Mlava Malki he said, it's Nishnageya. They called me before Shabbos, the deal fell through. So when he came afterwards, he came to Lubavitch and he told Reb Chaim Mordechai Palov that this guy, this young man, he's a faker, shaker, baker. He's a nartop the ganze Welt. He's making believe he's a businessman. And he's a ish naila verom venisa. That there was a few minutes before Shabbos, on such a deal, he worked so hard to make it happen. And the rebach in the deal was a very big rebach, so it was a very high number.
Not get them. In Shabbos, not going to get.
Whatever, it fell through. It was not Nageya anymore, and it was forgotten. So that's the inyan of the Bitochen. So Mela, before we go further, here pass around. Tar Bitochen, Dakdama, from Dakdama to Shara Bitochen. Here.
Oh, I don't know.
You have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mordechai Rubashin came out from jail. Just a small bottom of the brain.
Yeah.
He spoke about it a lot. Ilun is good. He had a lot of talking to me.
Almost Emunah and Bitachon go together. Yeah, I have Emunah and Bitachon.
I know. It's
Emunah and Bitachon.
the focus when we're going is right.
But it's goes together.
Trust and believe. Person can believe and not have trust. But a person that has trust is much bigger. Bitochen adover ayois tzarich mechol advarim lo'ived elikim. מפני שטיילוס גדולוס יש בו בניין התוירה בניין העולם. בניין התוירה לפי שמי שאינו בטח ולקים בטח בזולוסי. If a person doesn't trust Neibusha, so why is he trusting? ומי שבטח בזולוס, השם מייסר השגחוסם אלוהים ויגע לבהלה ובתוכם אלוקים מייבי מנוחס הנפש. A person that trusts Neibusha that has a certain tranquility. ושלא יקב לאיש ולא יחנף להם ולא יורם מפניהם. He doesn't have to be machtav, he is not scared because he's only scared from the Eibishter. והוא מפרנס לי במניון אל המזל ליחד לבוא לעניוני עבודת השם. וידומה במנוחה נפשי ורכב ליווי, ומי את הגוסן לעניוני עולמי. That לבעל הלכימיה, הידע להפך, הנחושס לכסף, והכסף לזוב, על ידי חוכמה מייס.
Never heard this once.
Chemia.
Yeah.
Chemia, we know the alachim.
Alachim, eh?
Yiddish.
In Arabic, yeah, the Alachim. Yeah. Could be, yeah.
What is that?
That's the English word. It's called
The Barabin Machai lived many years ago. Words changed the drop. Okay. Void yashisin labetech b'shem al ba'al alachimia. Asoret dvorim. It's very cute. He makes a list of asoret dvorim. Labetech b'shem. Even if a person is ba'al ha'alachimia. Chemistry, yeah. So this guy who knows chemistry claims that he knows how to make the sand into gold. A person that can make sand into gold will live a whole life very good. It's a moedidika thing. Still, the person that's b'teach b'Hashem is better than him in 10 things. Number one, Shabbat Alachim Yitzorach L'Kelim U'Lasami Yechodim L'Malach T'Shalim Tzam Chol Shab Chamak. Number two, Yitzorach L'May Samalach Zadosh Sigir Abba Vavodim Asmed Zef Shagam Yazikur Echem V'Yoshna. Yimol Sheni Yachal Galas Soidu Shumish Mir Osel Nafsh. Dalet Shemukhrach Lahazme Lematachis Harbe Meroish Vu Befachet Midi Alei. Hey, Shuhu Tachas Yidid Befachal Da Malachtem Min HaKotem Min HaGodol Shebeom. Because people know that he has a power, so they're after him to get him. Because
what is the name of Vakshim Etzayna?
no, that the Betech Belakim,
Yes.
even the Chayis Eros
Right.
want to do what's good for him.
Uh-huh.
Even the Avonim on the floor want to do what's good for him. Want to do what's good for him. That even the forces of nature can't come close to him. Person who has betochen the Eibishter. Shuene batuach mean the person who does the chemistry that turns the sand into gold. Eine batuach mean hameduyim v'chayolim shemarvim alav simchosid v'yoshrik. Eine noisen lelahonis mimenu. Latech b'shem batuach mize. V'yedei she'ene leboim elo l'shem kaporas avenoisav v'kedei laharbes chore v'elam haba.
How many rich people are so sick in the hospital
Those
because
are-
of the money?
שהוא ברוב כסף וזה באפשר שידע מפני שלא ימצא אוכל בעיר, משנקן לפרסס בתוכן. שהוא יורה לסעקה בכל מקום ומקום שם יגע לסוידה. משנקן, so he can't sleep good at night. משנקן דבטח ושם sleeps good by night. Number 9, שבמויסה לתואר לו הכימיה שלוי, ולא תלו לבייס אלומי. He can't take his techniques of chemicals into his grave. Yud shimeni yedeh lahaster soidati alachimia atzma sibes moise. B'chol ha'hepech mazeh lebatech shehem. Verkehrt. Shimu bal mamen yimar l'shalom chevaysev l'lekim l'mnei adam benefesh chafetzev v'roch neduv. V'yemene bal mamen yireki. Kisaran ha'mamen u'toiv v'meteves ha'malkim alav. Nation estalak v'alav ha'cheves v'chayvim l'lekim l'bnei adam. Va'avure u'miyat tirdes libe b'shmirose v'anagose. Commission Malach Machsidim Shamar, Hamakim Yatzlena Mepizar Nefesh Umau, Sheyeli, Mamam, Beroish Kolnor, Beroish Kolkiria. He didn't want to have Pizar Nefesh. He didn't want to have a lot of money. Vinyan Oilam, tell us Hambitochen, who Menuchas Alev Min Adayis, Eilamis. Vashalva, Menidnud Hanefesh, Vitzara, Lechisor, and Tavisa Gufnis. Umenuchas Hanefesh, Menesias Rechoikis, Amachalas Agu. ומקצר את החיים. ומנוחס הנפש על הגוף מן המייסים הכושרים המלוכס המייגוס. Later he's going to say that a person that has betochen also does things, makes a keli for his business. Because he trusts in Eibishter, he trusts that he doesn't have to make a keli in something which will be mazik him, or he has to be take a danger, he has to travel to the other end of the world where it's sakona. וגם מיעוט הצער מסחורי, אם תעקל אצלה פרגמטי, אם לא יוכל לסחובי, יפגעו חולי בגופי, מפני שהוא יודע שהבורא יסבורך מתקן יויסה ממנו. בורך לו סתוי יויסה מה שבורך לעצמי. Because he believes the Eibishter knows what's good for me better than I know for myself, and the Eibishter wants what's good for me better than I want for myself. And then he goes through the several parakim, but this is a general. But one of the things that we see here, the very big thing is that a person has shalvas anefesh and simcha. There's no guarantee a person has amunah has shalvas anefesh v'simcha. Person has betochen. It's a shvera avoida, but the net result is that he has shalvas anefesh and simcha sachayim. He's a happy person. So now that we understand the difference of amunah and betochen, Zok the Rebbe, you could say like this. Two unbelievable nakudas. If you say that the Parshas HaMan is to help you with Amunah, so what's the difference if it's Shabbos or Choil? You could say it every day. But if you say it's a dinyan of Betochen, Betochen is that I'm right now, I need something, and I'm putting my trust in Hashem. So Shaila, you're not supposed to be Mavakish Tzorochem b'Shabbos. Another Shaila. The person is not supposed to be Mavakish Tzorochem before.
You don't have to
On Shabbos, he's supposed to take it out of his head.
On Shabbos. No,
But he's not supposed to. He's not supposed to think about it. He's supposed to forget about it.
Don't forget.
But he's supposed to forget. He's and the union of Bitochen is that he's putting himself into Hashem's hand. It's an active thing. So why you think about it? The Shabbos, you're not supposed to think about it. And also, if it's the union of Bitochen, you could ask. Abakosha Srochim are supposed to be only after you say Shemona Esrei, not before. So the shaila is, if you say the word is Mitzad Emunah, so what's the difference if it's Shabbos or Yom Tov, before davening, after davening? Or if it's Mitzad Betochen, you could ask a question. And the Alter Rebbe writes in the Madura Tinyona that saying Parshas HaMan is Mitzad Betochen, it doesn't make a difference if it's Shabbos, if it's Yom Tov, before davening, after davening. Why? So the Rebbe says that in this week's Zohar there's a story of Rabbi Yisro Saba. Rabbi Yisro Saba says, Havale Mechle, he had food. The Hava Yom Mechle, he had food. Yeah. Still, he said, Loi Naskin Sudosa ad Tisyavle mi be Malta. I'm not going to prepare the Suda until they're going to give it to me from Hashem's hand. So therefore he used to daven. So imagine he had peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce on the cutting board, onions, what else? Cilantro. He had it all on the cutting board, but before he's going to chop it up and put a little bit of lemon and salt on it, he said, first let's ask the Rebbeinu Shalom, he should give it to me. I want it should come from Hashem's hand. So what's the maybe Sachbesa? The person doesn't have anything, and he asks the Eibishter, Agroisa Kunz, the tomatoes, the lettuce, the cucumbers, the salt, the onion.
You have it in front of me.
It's in front of you. What's the pshat in the story that Zohar is saying? The Rebbe says that the Rabbeinu Bachai says in the end of Parshas Vayesha that Yosef HaTzadik was punished. Why? Because he said Viskartani al Pare. And therefore, he was punished to be another 2 years in jail. Zokt Rabbeinu Machai, these words: Chas v'sholom loimer, she'yitla Yosef HaTzadik b'tchoinoi b'sa'ar amashkin, rak b'Hashem levadik. Chas v'sholom to say that Yosef really trusted that the Sar Amashkin, that Egyptian.
What's the Torah say that?
Oh, the Torah says that. No, the answer is Hoysa kavanose she'Hashem yizborech hizben elov Sar Amashkin, kidei sheyasa loy neis al yodoi. So why do you get
Sarah should be the shliach.
Yeah, the shliach. So why do you get punished? The answer is Nenash bazeh ki hoyelo lifter b'kadosh baruch hu levadei shu bal asibas kulun shu hu yazmin elov asiba mibli shivakesh hu oisa.
Don't give God instruction.
So fragt sich the Shailach Siddur in the Maimon v'lo zocher the Sarah Mashkin. Understand? Rabbeinu Bachai should read what he himself writes in the Peves Alavavas. That a person is a long arichas in the Shara B'Tochen. what kind of business you should open, what kind of malacha you should do. Try to do some omnis niktir v'kala, take it easy, but you're supposed to mevakesh siba. You're supposed to mevakesh siba meis Hashem. You're supposed to mevakesh a kelin. So why? So the answer the Chassidus gives, true. Seventzach bavem emeret, not seventzach vumeret, bavem emeret, sevem emeret. It depends who we're talking about. Some people attack. But the Yosef Atzadik was on a higher level. There's two levels in B'tochen. One level in B'tochen is that there is a person thinks that the business had epis, but it's all ultimately from the Eibishter. But there is epis in the business. But the brach is from the Shtadlis, what they call today Shtadlis.
Gray area.
So, but the second level is that everything is from the Eibishter. And there's nothing. Everything is from the Eibishter. Yosef Atzadik,
doesn't know which one is on.
Baal Shem Tov, this is when the Rebbe told the Sikha, they didn't make it into the Mugi de Sikha. The Rebbe told the story that I always love to tell because the Rebbe tells it many times. But Baal Shem Tov once needed money. So he came to a rich man and he knocked on the window and he walked away. And the rich man started to run after the Baal Shem Tov. And he asked him what he needs. So he said he needs money. How much? He told him how much. He ran back to his house and he ran after the Baal Shem Tov and brought him the money. And he asked the Baal Shem Tov, why did you knock on the window and walk away? So he said, because you have I have to do something. Who says I have to stand there and wait at the window?
If the money come to me.
And you ran after me. So you see, you ran after me.
Many
So-
people you knock on the window, they run away.
The Rebbe says that was the Dagas of Baal Shem Tov. It's Dagas Yosef Atzadik. It's a good question. How does a person know? But
The Rosh never went to sleep, so there's no
how does it? So someone like the Baal Shem Tov is an andazach.
How far can you push the woman?
Taka,
But I wake up in the morning and think,
Didn't sleep much.
I didn't sleep much.
you know that one of the things I read again from Rabbi Lov, when the Soviets came into power, the Kilu came to people's houses to check that they checked that they don't have chas v'sholom any documents, any illegal stuff.
You came to check for money if you have money.
And they really came for money.
That's it.
It was really just Kilu, the shakedown. They came to the Rebbe's house. It was if he didn't care. He saw that there was a box that they had old notes from the times of the Tsar. Notes that are have zero value right now. They're not over the soicha. And B, they're small amounts, small change, whatever. Singles, doubles, whatever. The Frierdiker Rebbe said that you can't take that. Among them, Nachman al-Tzam were Yidden also. So they said, what do you care? Do you think the Tsar is going to come back? So he said, no. He said, my father had a minute that he wouldn't eat until he emptied out his pockets. Whatever money was in his pocket, he'd put in the pushka. A short time before he was nifted, the last few times he ate, he emptied his pocket and he put it into this pushka. So these notes are very precious to me because my father put it in the pushka. So they said, okay, this we're not going to take. But they were like, they left the house. They were, this guy, but they took Kli Kesef, Kli Zov, he didn't care. The box with the pushka, with the small change, notes that have no value, that was important to him. Yosef Atzadik is given as a. So what's the difference? Oh, so you're asking a quite good question. How does a person know? The emphasis is, before we get to that, so the Rebbe says, this is the pshat of Rabbi Yossi Saba. Rabbi Yossi Saba was that the whatever is in Teva has no tfisas mokim to it. So if the Teva has a tfisas mokim for you, so once this lettuce is on the chopping board, okay, so I have it ready. But if all the whole Teva is no tfisas mokim at all, so if the lettuce is on the chopping board, or there is no lettuce in the whole city and it's a middle of a rov, is this obazach? This is obazach. So therefore, to Rabbi Yossi Saba, it was all from the Eibishter's hand. He wants to get it from the Eibishter's hand. So, and that's why the Zohar says over there about Rabbi Yosef Saba that for him it says the pasuk Eis hamayachelim lachazdei the mitzaper amachakem b'chol yoyma umeboy mizanayu min kutshabrichu, that this is the level of hamayachelim lachazdei. So within bitochen, it's a higher level in bitochen. Zok the Rebbe, like you could say the pshat is like this: that on the lower level bitochen, you could say it's a little bit maybe like bakosha tzrochel. On the higher level of bitochen, he doesn't feel himself as a metzias b'chlal. So it's not tzrochov. He is not a picture. He's totally bottom. So therefore, it's not considered like bakosha tzrochel. So the Rebbe says like this. You could say like this. Unbelievable thing. You usually can't expect from a yid the higher level of bitochen. So the regular level of bitochen you expect from every yid. The yid has to expect it from himself. On a special day, a Shabbos, a Yom Tiv, a Yid could be Zoicha to be Oile to the level of Miyachelim Lachazni. The Madura Kama, the Alter Rebbe wrote, Apin Nigla. We know that the Madura Basa, the Rebbe Zayda writes in Sharakoilo, he wrote also based on the things of the Mekubalim.
He wrote it later.
He wrote it much, much later in his life. Madura Kama he wrote when he was young.
Not that he changed his mind, he just
So Madura Kama he wrote based on the Poiskim, on the Gemara, what the Beis Yosef says on the Poiskim Achronim, because what's the pshat the Poiskim say in Nigla? The Poiskim say in Nigla something which every Yid is expected to do. So from every Yid you can't expect a higher level of Bitochen. And the lower level of Bitochen is the emes is that maybe there's a chshad that's in Bakosha Srochen. So if you're saying that there's a minute to say Parshas HaMan b'chol yom, Vetach HaShayla, you're allowed to say it in Shabbos. Vetach HaShayla, you're allowed to say it before Shemon Esrei. So therefore, better to say that the reason for the minhag of Parshas HaMan is emuna, not betochen. But once he wrote the Madura Basra, which is always gehalten also according to Tifre Nyonim al Pi Kabbalah. So over there, we're talking about a yid that's meyachelam lachazdoi. And therefore, it's a higher level within Bitochen. And he doesn't feel himself as a Metzias B'chlal. So, and the Welt has zero chashivas to him. So the Bitochen is not felt like Bakosha Srocha. It's not like, oh, I'm asking the Eibush, I'm putting it in your hands. He's B'chlal not a Metzias. So therefore, you could say that the Amiras, Parshas, HaMan is for Bitochen. And you could say it every day, including Shabbos and including before Shemon Esrei. Because over here it's not nikir, that it's bakosha srocha. It's not nikir, it's a bakosha srocha. So therefore, this is the nekuda what changed from the Madura Kama to the Madura Basar and the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch.
What did the Bor Choleim when you have Kavana? Just think about wine for Pesach and Esok for.
I brought somewhere in Ayomiyim, and through that, other things will also be good.
Someone told me on Thursday, how do you spell Daiga? With it's from the first 5 ICs of the Aleph base, but there's one letter missing. It's the Dalet, Aleph, Gimel, Hey. What's the letters missing from the 5 ICs of the Aleph base? If you would have a base, you would have Bitachon, there's no Daiga.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, we'll leave it at this. David shall help them that we should be zoichet to have a munah, we should have bitochen, and then the higher level of bitochen takev, mamish like Rabbi Yossi Saba, and every one of us, Tatefi Klal Yisrael, should see everything in the schools of this bitochen that we should have toiv hanida vanitla for every single yid amidst Hashem in the last few moments in Golus. And we should see the Torah nigla vanigla bevis Mashiach tzidkeinu.
No more Daigas.
No more daigas. We'll bring the bitachon, we'll have no daigas.
On the days, you know, that is something.
Talking about Reverend, like, we could prepare to talk so much about stuff. No, but I know.
Anyway.